Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Goliath and Leviathan show. I am Goliath.
And I am Leviathan, and on this episode, we're going to be talking about men and women, specifically at the workplace, our own experiences, things that, go on in society, kind of just what happens, and just some of our own experiences and things, and we hope you guys like it. Welcome back, everybody. Another episode, and again, we're just talking about basically what you as a man with MGTOW in itself do more of an awareness of dealing with people at work, dealing with other coworkers, what we ourselves deal with, because we both, Goliath and myself, Leviathan, what we deal with at work, because we both work full-time jobs. Just the overall, there's definitely a different view of treatment of men and women, and not that it's that there can't be differences, not that there can't be strengths or anything, but there's definitely differences.
Right, and like something that I have to say is, there's a girl that I work with in my department,
Mm-hmm.
and I always get the brunt of the work.
Yeah.
At night, when everyone goes home, it's just me and her there, and I got to be left with the back, cleaning the whole back, breaking
Mm-hmm.
down the pallets. She always needs help picking up the
Yeah.
boxes when they're heavy, this and that, which is fine. I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
problem in doing it, but it just goes to show you that like we're in charge of we help more than they
Mm-hmm.
help
Oh yeah.
in the working department. And it's just like last week too. We both got scheduled till 7 o'clock, and it's usually a day where she works later. She works later than that, and my boss was like, "Told her you have to stay," and she said no. Like the schedule says 7 o'clock. I'm going home at 7 o'clock, so I stayed till 9, and I
Yeah.
didn't have to do this, but to make things easier, I stayed. There's other times too when people call out, I stay extra. She never stays extra, and it just goes to show you that men, we get the brunt of the work. We take over, at the workforce because we're needed more.
We have again with testosterone and the physical attributes and the physical nature of men. Men can take it because we're not dictated by our emotions. Don't get us wrong. Like, we all have emotions, and men can get very aggressive and can be very frustrated. But for the most part, it's like, as a man, you deal with things through life because you just deal with it, and it comes to a point where so many men, and dealing with what I've seen and what I've dealt with through women in around me particularly, there's definitely an elevated status that women are more delicate.
Yeah.
They can't physically deal with heavier lifting projects, that they physically can't deal with certain elements of frustrating customers, and instead of actually dealing with the situation, a lot of women break down and
Well,
cry.
that actually happened just a few weeks ago in the job too. Is the girl in my department, she was having going through, I guess, a bunch of different emotions with outside life and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, whatever. And she was having a bad day at work. That one of the bosses was, I guess, made a comment that she didn't like about working. And she just started bawling out, crying, and she had to go home. And she went home. And listen, I get it. I felt bad. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, as a guy, I'm not playing the victim, saying guys are
No, no,
victims.
no.
But what I'm saying is women get away with a lot more than men can.
Of
If
course.
I started crying, would
They would
that
be
be acceptable?
laughed.
That I would be
Would be laughed
laughed
at.
at, and you know what? I maybe even lose my job, lose
Yeah.
hours. You don't know, because they'll be like, what you did yesterday. But as a woman, it's acceptable.
Yeah. Well, as a man, it's like, okay, you don't want to be here, then don't be here. But for the most part, it's like men, is what Goliath has been telling me too, is what I've dealt with too, is like for the most part, it's like managers that deal with us specifically, our managers are men, right? So they'll ask more of us because we deal with things. And a common understanding is the fact that we go above and beyond when it comes to doing the workload.
Oh yeah.
About over roughly 95% of the physical labor, the manual labor, dealing with what goes on out on the store in different areas of things for the both of us, for various elements of things, right? Um, Again, with most men, we just deal with it, but at the same time, we can have talking points about things, but we don't break down and cry. We're like, we'll cuss, we'll get
Right.
frustrated. We're away from people, but we're like, oh, what the heck is going on? Or it's frustrating, and we'll banter back and forth, and we'll be loud. And so, for an outsider, specifically, if it's a woman looking at a man who gets frustrated, and they're like, well, why are they getting so angry? It's like, why
Because you don't
are
have to
they
deal with you don't have to
upset?
deal with what we're dealing with.
Right. No, you don't. And again, women have their own elements of things to deal with. Again, if you're looking at another aspect of things too, okay? Women who decide who get pregnant, right? And that they're in a working environment with men, right? Obviously, women are going to have maternity leave. They're going to have doctor appointments. They're going to not feel good. They're going to have morning sickness. They're going to have all these elements about being a woman. And so, what a lot of women do when they go through the fact of, getting ready for child rearing and having children, right? Because they got babies on the brain. What ends up happening is they're not in the workplace. They're physically not there, mentally not there, or they just don't come in at all. So that's another aspect. And so you look at it as, if you're looking at as an employer status standpoint, as a man, like who you want to hire, would you want to hire somebody who's going to do the job, going to be there, going to physically take care of what needs to be taken care of and deal with it, or are you going to hire somebody who's going to be wishy-washy, who you don't know who's going to do the
Well, it's
things?
even like look in society at other jobs and stuff, like electricians,
Mm-hmm.
construction,
Plumbers,
plumbers, all that.
welders.
They're all men. Majority, like 99% are men.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I'm saying? It's even
The
most.
guy who cleans out the septic tank for
Yeah.
your house or your apartment,
Oh
odds
man,
are
it's
it's
just
gonna
that
be
men are
men.
going to take more than women are.
Yeah.
Women aren't going to do most jobs that men are going to do,
Right.
and they won't be able to handle it. So it goes hand in hand,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's a lot more other things too, with certain jobs that
Mm-hmm.
women don't do or really
Yeah.
can't do.
Well, there was the show that Dirty Jobs.
Right, Mike Rowe.
Well, Mike Rowe, right, where most of I mean, obviously he would go to like farms and stuff, and there'd be some women on a couple episodes here and there, but most of the jobs, like dirty jobs, actual work of manual labor that he went to, most of the time, I want to say about roughly 80 to 90% of the time, he was dealing with
With
other men, and that goes to all sorts of aspects, as I've said in previous episodes, it's the fact that most of society is built on, maintained, run by men. And with MGTOW is you're taking yourself out of the equation, off of the board, and dealing with stuff that you deal with at work. You see what goes on around you. You are physically there, and you know what goes on around you, and you're like, Yeah, this is I see real inequality of how I myself do everything and then other people do
Yeah,
nothing or
it's
literally less than nothing, you
it
know.
just goes to show you if men were out of society, women would be fucked, and if women were out of society, men would still be able to maintain, like and still have like livable situations because women wouldn't know what to do.
No, they would the society it would usher in the dark ages if a majority of men. See, this is another thing too with MGTOW. Um when the majority of men start realizing the true nature of the matrix of feminism and gynocentrism and decide to break away from women and say,
Right.
okay, women want to be left alone. Women, I don't want to deal anything with women. Um, what's going to end up happening is the society can pretty much will pretty much crumble, because men are going to take themselves out of the picture, and most women aren't going to know what to do. Most men are going to just say, I'm going to withdraw myself from society and everything, and I'll still have some things to deal with it. But most women are going to be like, "Where's all the men? Where are all the men going? We want men," and men aren't going to want to be
Well,
there.
it's just like the other things that just happened too. Was like the whole Girl Scout, Boy Scout thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have the girls that want to be in Boy Scouts, but they don't do the same things. Boy Scouts is a lot more than what Girl Scouts do. It's
Mm-hmm.
about survival stuff and things like that, and that's what men are know how to do more than women do.
Yeah, no, and again, it's not that there can't be an inclusion of women into a branch like
But
the
it's
Boy
Boy
Scouts,
Scouts,
but it's
Boy Scouts.
specifically Boy Scouts
Why
for
can't women
boys.
be in Boy Scouts because or
It's
girl
got the
because it's
name.
boys
It's for
Scout?
boys, and again, it's like if women want to do more of the aspects of what the Boy Scouts do, there could be a
Have another
branch.
group.
There could be a new group that combines girls and boys in a mixed gender organization, right? Could be boys and girls, but specifically the Boy Scouts themselves should be boys. The Girl Scouts should be specifically for the girls. You ask the Girl Scouts, they don't want boys in their organization.
And there's not allowed, and they're
Yeah,
not allowed, and so
right,
the girls are only allowed in the Boy Scouts. So women only want equality when it comes to that stuff, but not when it comes to work,
right.
because the men always seem to get the brunt of the work. And
Mm-hmm.
listen, it's not being sexist.
No, no, it is actual
It's
facts.
actual facts being stated right here,
Mm-hmm.
and it is what it is. I mean, if you're out there listening to this, and you're a man, you probably work with women,
Mm-hmm.
and you can relate to this. You
Yeah.
can understand that this is facts. I'm not saying women don't work hard.
No,
You
of
know what
course
I'm
not.
saying? But they
It's
don't have as grueling jobs as men do,
right.
where more taxing jobs where it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
really hit you, tolling you out for the day. It's
Yeah.
where we work. We can work longer than they can,
Yeah.
and it's just facts. It really is, and I don't mean to offend anybody,
No, we're
but
not. It's the fact that again, there's differences. This is biology in itself from the early predecessors of humans. Okay, you look at it. Men were specifically designed to be the protectors, the providers, the ones who go out and secure the means for food and security for the homestead, right? And the woman's job, she has the breast, she produces milk. It's to basically nurture and care for the young, the children, and to basically that's just how biology is. That's just how nature has bred the human species, and it's really there's all sorts of ways that you can look at how people can contribute to each other, but for the most part, um, if you're looking at the real aspect of things, most of the time for men, it's we have the grueling, the more taxing, the more laborsome obstacles to go through, and we deal with it because we're men. And now you put women in those very positions, they cannot deal with it. That's why most women don't want to be in those positions, because they realize that the toll it takes is so damaging to them.
yeah, and we take it like Leviathan just said. We go to work, we take it. Like I said,
Hmm.
we're not playing the victim.
No, we
We're
have bills to pay. We have
right,
lives to live. We pay our own way.
and And when I'm at work, when I'm working with that female, I have no problem
Hmm.
in breaking down the pallets or
Yeah.
in throwing out the garbage and helping her lifting heavy boxes and things like
Yeah.
that. I don't have the problem, but it just goes to show you that they can't do as much as we could. The majority of them, they ask for the help.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what if I was to ask her? Could I have asked her? Oh, can you help me lift up this heavy box? That
Hey,
wouldn't be right.
no,
That
I'll go
wouldn't be
get
right.
somebody. Let me go
Yeah,
get somebody to
you
help
know,
you.
and that's the thing. It's like they're excused
Hmm.
to do a lot less than we're
Yeah.
not excused to do. If we don't do, and they also get more chances at things too. If I didn't get something done at work, I'll get
No, we
hollered
get,
at,
yeah.
and if she does, she'll come up with some excuse probably, and it'll be okay, or she'll get another chance.
Hmm. Right, and it's the fact that you do the job as a man because it needs to be done. And now there's a timetable for things. Things have to be done cost effectively. Things have to be built or maintained or just done at work because it just that's your job, whatever it is, you know. And for a lot of men, it's like we realize that this that's the mindset we're wired to do things. You know, that's how we are. With women, it's more of well, maybe I'll get around to it a little bit later, or maybe I don't want to do it now, or oh, I know I should do this, but I don't feel like it right now, or it's th-
And the whole thing with the pay wage and stuff with women is, if you women can do the job, the
mhm.
same job that a man can do, if not better, then they deserve to get paid the same.
They do.
But like in this instance, does this female that I work with deserve to get paid as much as I do when she does less? I don't agree. I don't think
Hmm.
that she should be. So it's just because like I said, I do more. You know, she's a great worker. She
Hmm.
does her job and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I do more. Those stuff I just stated with
Hmm.
taking care of the back room and the pallets in the back, and that she can't do. It's not even that she won't do that. That's just the plan.
Physically,
She
she's
physically can't
incapable
do it
of it. Yeah.
because she's lifted boxes before and complained that her back hurt. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I can't use that excuse.
Hmm.
So it goes to show you, like, she shouldn't be making as much as I do.
Hmm.
Not that I'm saying that I make a lot more than her, but I'm just saying she should not be making just as much as I do, doing less.
Right. Comparing apples to apples, exactly the same. What position is the exact same position? Anybody can go to any job that they want to. It's the fact of who's best suited for the job, and it's like how long have you been at the job, and everything else that adds into it. Not just because you have one sexual organ over another. It has nothing to do with it. That's the real crux of everything.
So everybody, I hope that you enjoyed another episode of the Goliath and Leviathan show. We're gonna keep more coming, and like I said, let us know what you think. Like, comment, share, do what you could to help us out, and we'll be giving you feedback. And thank you again.
Yeah, we'll keep spreading the word.